Look out, bargain hunters, Black Friday madness spreads around the world. Good news for drivers, gas prices are going down. And cleanup has started after a snowstorm hits the northern U.S. Toronto crews are on their way to help. Hi, and welcome to Humber News. I'm Rebecca Nobrega, coming to you from our newsroom here at Humber College North Campus. Sharpen your elbows and get out the boxing gloves. It's Black Friday and shoppers the world over are hunting big bargains. This year, many stores opened on Thanksgiving Day in the U.S., and the chaotic scenes have spread to the U.K. and even China. Shoppers were battling through store entrances for the deals in the UK and trampling each other to grab discounted items. Police were called in because of the overcrowding. On the other side of the world, Chinese shoppers are getting into the action this year. Alibaba has launched a new online shopping service to make it easier for Chinese customers to buy from American retailers. Meanwhile, back in the U.S., in Ferguson, Missouri, it's not the Black Friday deals that have brought people to the malls. Protesters are walking through the stores and chanting. They're protesting against the grand jury decision not to indict the officer who shot an unarmed black teenager. Here at home, the Black Friday extravaganza seems to be a little tamer. Marissa Barrington has the story.
It's a shopaholic's dream come true. Shopping malls opened as early as 6 a.m. to kick off their Black Friday sales. Some stores offered discounts as high as 60% off, while some gave away free gifts with purchases.
So we drove from Kingston last night at like 10 o'clock, got here about 1:30 in the morning, and then we slept at her house and got to the mall around 6:30 today, and we are missing school to be here currently.
Over 200,000 shoppers are expected to visit the Eaton Center today. Senior Marketing Director Meredith Litlis says this year's Black Friday has seen big improvement.
So really, no matter what you're looking for, you're going to be able to get an amazing deal today. We gave away $10 shop cards to the first 100 people at our guest services desk. Our friends from McDonald's were here serving coffee, and it was a really nice kickoff to the shopping season. I've just actually been looking at the traffic numbers from last year. We're on par with the traffic numbers, so we're still on pace to have over 270,000 people in the center today. And the occupancy at 8:45 this morning was just under 11,000 people.
For those of you who are stuck at work or school, most malls are offering extended shopping hours. Here at the Eaton Center, they're open until 9:30 p.m. tonight. Coming from downtown Toronto, I'm Marissa Barrington, Humber News.
During the busiest travel season in the U.S., bad weather was wreaking havoc on Thanksgiving commuters. This is one of more than 50 cars caught in a chain reaction crash near Niagara Falls, New York. Rain from the Gulf of Mexico fell in several cities, including New York and Boston, while New England had 30 centimeters of snow. Toronto Hydro has also sent a crew to New Hampshire after 178,000 people lost power from the storm that hit Wednesday and Thursday. Snow has also fallen in Ohio, Virginia, West Virginia, Pennsylvania, and Maryland. Toronto's most dapper monkey is in the market to buy a new home. The banana lover is looking to peel out of his current pad. Darwin the IKEA monkey has been living at Ontario's Storybook Farm ever since a court placed him in the sanctuary's care. The primate sparked a social media frenzy back in 2012 when he was found wandering around an IKEA parking lot in a shearling coat. The sanctuary is hoping to relocate and has launched an online crowdfunding campaign to raise $500,000. Storybook officials say Darwin's new home will be shared with 41 other monkeys and will have much wider open spaces and forested enclosures. Gas prices are plunging and are expected to drop even more over the weekend. The news comes in wake of OPEC deciding not to cut back on its oil production. OPEC is the largest group of oil-producing countries in the world. Though the stock market is taking a heavy blow because investors are selling their energy stocks, the news is great for drivers. Officials say they don't see prices going up anytime soon. To Ukraine now, where the final remains from Malaysian airline flight MH17 are now on the way back to the Netherlands. It marks the end of a week-long cleanup project headed by the Dutch government. The solemn ceremony was held at the Kharkiv airport. Ukrainian soldiers loaded 6 wooden coffins onto a Dutch cargo plane, the last remains of Dutch citizens recovered from the July crash. Its alleged plane was shot down by pro-Russian rebels after flying over the war-torn region of Kiev. All 298 passengers and crew on board were killed. Most were Dutch citizens. Pope Francis has arrived in Turkey for what some believe to be his most challenging trip yet. The Pope will be in Ankara for the next 3 days to try to strengthen ties with Muslim leaders. He's already met with the Turkish president and is scheduled to meet with other leaders over the weekend. Francis is expected to make a statement condemning violence towards Christians and other minorities in the area. The relationship between the Roman Catholic and Orthodox Church has been strained since the Great Schism of the 15th century. Here's a story you may find hard to believe. What do you get when you combine a GoPro camera, a weather balloon, and a lamb chop? It was 5 months ago when a group of friends decided to launch a lamb chop into space with a GPS tracker and a GoPro camera on board. When the balloon eventually popped and the GPS stopped working, tracker and the GoPro were expected to be lost forever. That is until a farmer got in touch with a member from the group and returned the items. They found 100 minutes of footage of the chop's journey into space. They say it climbed 30 kilometers into the stratosphere, but it turns out the chop wasn't seasoned for the conditions. British entrepreneurs have fleshed out a creative new idea. What was once a public toilet now serves a very different function. Left abandoned for decades, it's been renovated into a cafe but retains its original features. This old Victorian public toilet in London has been transformed into a trendy coffee shop. Instead of tearing down the interior completely, the owners kept many of its original features. Porcelain urinals have been transformed into individual seating booths. The cafe has become a hot destination, leaving many of its tables occupied. When we come back, we'll tell you what's happening in the world of sports, and Ainsley Smith will have your 3-day forecast.
The phrase seeing is believing could not be truer today because yes, we are seeing the sun shining late in November. Today we're going to see a high of -2 and then later on this evening we're going to feel a low of -3. I'll have the rest of your 3-day forecast after the break.
But first, Hello China. Media got a sneak peek of a new Hello Kitty amusement park in China. Balloons and music filled the air for the inauguration a month ahead of its opening. There were live performances and musicals with Sanrio characters like Dear Daniel joining Hello Kitty for the celebration. Visitors even got a chance to pose for a picture with Hello Kitty herself. The park opens New Year's Day.